I just want to talk to you today, continuing to talk about grow groups. Last week, we kind of set up exactly what a grow group is. A short definition is just a small group of people getting together for the purpose of discipleship, to be discipled, specifically to make disciples, and then the group would end and they would start new groups to make disciples. So it's a discipleship cycle. Now, today I just want to talk to you about 3 simple questions about grow groups to answer. 1, how do I find my group? 2, how big should my group be? And 3, where do we meet? When do we meet? Where do we meet? So the first question is, how do I find my group? Well, if you're a Bible fellowship teacher, then the most natural place for you to find your group of people to disciple would be in your Bible fellowship class. If you're not a Bible fellowship teacher, or you don't see anybody in your class to disciple, then I would ask the question, who do you already have influence with? Who do you know that wants to grow in their faith? Who do you know that needs to be discipled? Maybe you want to start a group with some new believers that you know in your neighborhood that you want to meet with them. So start where you are and look around. When Jesus picked his group, when Jesus picked his 12, there were 2 things he did. 1, he prayed all night long, asking God to show him who the disciples would be. So I would encourage you, first and foremost, pray. Ask God to show you who he would have you have in your small group. The second thing he did was he asked them. He said, follow me. And so you need to ask people to join your group. You need to ask them to be part of what you're trying to do and explain it to them. I heard it said this way the other day. I think it was my friend Brian Johnson that said to me, he said, you can choose your mentors, but you can't choose your mentees. Or you can choose those that invest in your life, but you can't necessarily choose those that are going to choose you as the disciple maker. And so you might ask people, and they might say yes, and then a few weeks later, they might not show up, and they'll weed themselves out pretty quickly in the process. So look for those people around you, make a list, and then kind of bring the list down to 15 or so people, 10 people, 5 people, and then the top 4. Those are the people you're going to contact first. You're going to call them. You're going to have a conversation with them, have them over for dinner, and ask what you're wanting from them. The second thing is, how big should these groups be? Well, if you have too small a group, it almost becomes a counseling session. If you have too large a group, you don't have time for everyone to give input and be part of the group. So kind of a great place to be is 4 in the group plus you. So a maximum of 5 in the group is a great place to be. So think about that magic number of 5. Jesus could only disciple 12, and he spent all his time with them for 3 years. We're looking at not spending quite as much time, and we're probably not doing a 3-year process. So think about 5 people. The third question that we said we were going to answer today is, when and where do we meet? Well, that's up to you. You need to find a place that works for your group. It can be early in the morning at a restaurant. It can be on Saturday morning at your house. It can be at the ball field if you want to have a group of other maybe parents that have kids that play sports. It can be anywhere. It can be at church on Sunday morning. It can be anywhere after you go to your own Bible fellowship class, of course. But the thing about grow groups is it's up to you where you have the group. So I would encourage you, make a list of your group, pray, ask them, have 4 people plus you, find a place and a time where you can all meet. I can't wait to see you Sunday.